Hello and welcome back to Downtime Activities. Matthew here, and today we're going to be doing another kind of running the game advice style video for you guys, specifically going over some character options that I like to give to my players at character creation for them to make some more interesting or more tied into the story characters. These are options that'll work for pretty much any RPG system. I'll be going over specifically in 5th edition how I would apply these, but a lot of this stuff translates. So let's check them out. The first option that I like to give my players at character creation is a free feat. Now, you could give your players any feat they wanted for free here at character creation just to help them kind of progress along a build or any idea that they have, but I like to be a little more particular with this and limit what kind of feats players can take. My reasoning behind this is I don't want my characters to use this option to just make more powerful characters. I want them to use it to make more interesting characters. So I tend to limit it to, at my discretion, basically any feat, so long as it's not increasing their raw combat damage output or applying to some sort of min-maxy build. I want this feat to be something that gives their characters interesting and different options that they wouldn't normally have with their race-class combination, but not one that's just for more damage output. There are so many feats that are awesome, but never get taken because feats are so few and far between that players really want to make the most out of each time they get that option to take one. This will open up the opportunity for players to take that feat that they've kind of always wanted to take but always felt like they were making their character weaker to do so, because it's free and the feat can't be used for something to up their power and up their build. Unique out-of-combat abilities, proficiencies, skill sets that players would not normally have, they can get access to with this, and it just opens up for a lot of very fun and interesting interaction and making a character have some cool options. Another option I really like to give my players is I give all players at the start of character creation a 50 gold piece usually budget to spend on equipment. Now there's some caveats with this as well. They can't just spend this on more weapons or armor, and they can't save up this money or apply it in other places. This is a 50 gold piece gift card basically to the equipment store. They have to spend all of it on equipment. They don't get to keep whatever they don't spend. And this just means that characters will actually start with some stuff to use. Not just the adventuring kit that they would come with from their class and a couple of weapons and armor. They can really go and dig into that equipment list and find some of the more interesting stuff and have their characters start with it. Some people might use this for healing potions or for ball bearings, anything. There's just so many options. There's lots of options and so much cool equipment. And I love when players creatively use their equipment. So I like giving them this budget at character creation to go out and just kit their characters out with a bunch of random stuff that they can use creatively in play. Little shameless self-plug here. If you're interested in some of the equipment off of this list that I think is the most useful or helpful, we have a video on that you should go check out. That aside though, continuing on with some other options that I like to give my players. This one's from the book, though I can see ways you would take it in different directions, and that's trinkets. Trinkets are amazing. They're so much fun, and you can have your players roll off that D100 table and get something random, and hopefully it comes into play. A lot of times it doesn't. So what I'd like to do here is either go online and find more interesting or diverse tables that you can roll off of to have other different and non-played out trinkets, or go and make a shorter list of trinkets yourself that directly relate to the story and the setting and the characters existing in the campaign that you're about to start. I wouldn't go and make a full 100 item list here because very few of them are going to be distributed, and that's a lot of work for not a lot of payoff. But if you make a short list of 10 to 20 items that are relevant or make sense to your setting, having players roll and get those is a way to help make sure that they're actually going to come up and play. Because they're relevant, they matter. You know what's going to happen in your story, at least you know what already exists in your story. And having a trinket list that relates to this will be really cool and give characters some items that will tie into the story. Another great option here is to come up with some contacts for the players to have. I usually come up with one NPC per player and give them a small kind of backstory and setting and place in the world and the kind of maybe information they would have. And then I have the players roll randomly to see who gets which contact. This is a very fun and interesting way to give players an NPC that they know in the world, that they can run into randomly or seek out for advice or quests. This will make the characters feel very much like they're tied in a part of the world, and make the other players feel very immersed when all of a sudden this random person who walks by greets one of the other players and knows them by name. This also gives your players an opportunity to creatively think about how their character knows this contact. Is it something that ties into their backstory, or perhaps the profession they were leading before they became an adventurer? All this just gives your players more buy-in and more tie-in to the world. In a similar vein here, I also like to come up with rumors going around that I can distribute out to the players as well. I usually go for about 2 rumors per player, and similarly have them randomly determined by rolling dice which rumors which players have heard. You can either do it to where there's overlap and some players have heard the same rumors, or if it's important that all these rumors are distributed around, just kind of remove rumors off of your list as they get rolled by certain players, and have that remaining list decrease the die that they're rolling, basically. This is a good way to get some free information out to your players to help drive the story forward, and make them a little excited and interested in how this rumor ties into the bigger picture. Lastly, my favorite thing to do with any of my players, favorite option, the favorite thing that I do at character creation with everyone in most games I run, is character secrets. Now, I could do a whole series of videos probably on character secrets, how to do them well, and what they bring about in play, but the basic gist is this. Take each of your players aside during character creation and figure out what their secret is. What's something about this character that the average person wouldn't know and that they wouldn't want anyone besides those very close to them to know. It can be a secret about their past, a secret curse that afflicts them, something they've done and are on the run from. It can be so many different things, and having something secretive that can come out and play is so much fun, and it's so rewarding in those moments when it does come out. And since each player kind of knows that all the other players have secrets, there's always this kind of anticipation for when they're going to come out, and this kind of, oh my gosh, that was your secret moment when it happens in play. And this is an important thing to kind of bring up. Character secrets, as well as their rumors and contacts and any of that sort of RP world tie-in stuff, do this all behind closed doors individually with each of the players. If you shout out all the names of the contacts before anyone else has met them, then it's a lot less cool and interesting and immersive when they run into them in play. Similarly, if they all hear all the rumors, they all know all the rumors, instead of one player being like, oh, I've heard something about this, and having a cool moment where they get to stand out and share what rumor they heard. All that should be done with the players taken aside, and that's when you can give them their contacts, their rumors, as well as discuss that character secret. Remember, at the end of the day, we want to give our players a really fun, immersive experience, and we want them to have as many options as they can without unbalancing or messing up the gameplay of the story being told. Give as many options as you can to make characters interesting, so long as it's not just making them more powerful for the sake of power. And these kinds of options should do a good job of doing just that. That has been some character creation options that you guys can try and use in your games to make your characters a little more tied into the story and give them just some cool, fun options to make more interesting characters. If you liked any of these, please give the video a like. If there's any other stuff that you like to do in your campaigns to kind of give those additional options or ways to tie story stuff into character creation, please throw that down in the comments. I'm sure anyone could get some useful advice from that. Now go forth, slay dragons, sling spells, roll dice, and enjoy your downtime activities.